Welcome folks to the Eldredge family. If you guys are new here, I'm Crandall. You guys are watching the Eldredge Fam. We're a family of 5 here in southern Oklahoma, making a life for ourselves and sharing it with y'all. I'm about to get soaked. In today's video, we are going to be taking this just plain floor and turning it into this beautiful floor that you can see right here. And I'm gonna take you guys through the entire process starting now. We've got a ton of dirt and stuff in here. I've got that concrete wash. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna pressure wash the whole thing. We're gonna mop it, we're gonna squeegee it, and we're gonna get this thing looking amazing. I hope y'all enjoyed that little time lapse. Took me about an hour and a half. I've got terrible hiccups. It took me about an hour and a half to get this thing washed. I basically went through each section with the pressure washer, hit any spots. You know, we had some spray foam on the ground and stuff like that. Hit it directly with the pressure washer, got it off, cleaned out the cracks, cleaned out the crevices, and then I'd come back with the hose, which is quantity of water rather than pressure, and I'd wash the section, and then I'd squeegee it, and you guys saw it work from one end all the way back to the other. And it looks fantastic. So, we gotta let this dry completely, and then tomorrow, we'll be back out here to do step 2. It's so weird to walk on this with it being so clean. It's like, it feels weird to my feet. So I did turn on the fan on the AC unit. I don't have the AC going, just the fan to help circulate the air. We're at 85% humidity in here right now, which is absolutely crazy. So that will help circulate it. We'll open up the door a little bit to try and get this to dry out as quick as possible. We've got all night, 12 to 15 hours before I'm back out here again, so we shouldn't have any issues. If in the morning there's some spots that look a little damp, which would probably be like our cracks, because those obviously hold water, then I can come out here with the fan and put the fan on it, but we'll see how it looks in the morning. It's bright and early this morning, and we have got our shipment from Direct Colors. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. There we go. What do we got? Hi Crandall, here's everything you will need for the project. Huge shout out to the company, y'all. There is no company that I've worked with on any of my years in construction or on my projects here on our property that has been more helpful than Direct Colors with this entire process. Like, it's been absolutely insane how helpful that they have been. So I'm gonna give him a call this morning. I've got one more box here to open, and we're gonna get this figured out. I know this is our next step after cleaning, which is the CitrusEtch. It's an etcher. You have to etch the concrete before you can stain it. So here's a look at everything that Direct Colors sent for this project. There's basically like a 5 or 6 step process for this, and I'm gonna take you guys through that entire process. We've got our 1 gallon sprayer. Oh, it looks like they actually maybe sent two of them. Now that I'm looking at it. So we've got 2 1-gallon sprayers. That'll be perfect. Then I can mix everything up in one go, and then I don't have to stop, refill it, and do that. So we've got sprayers, we've got spiked sandals. Those are definitely a necessity. That's so you don't leave footprints on the steel, like on all of the different steps. You don't want to leave footprints in it. We've got our color, which we did decide to go with the steel. So everybody that likes the steel option, we're going with the steel option. It was kind of between the steel and stone, and I just decided I really like the steel. I think it's gonna look really good in here. I wanted something a little bit darker, and so that's what we're going with. We've got the sealer, we've got the ProWax Polish, which is basically a retardant and a floor saver for, like, I told them, I was like, hey, we're gonna have oil, gasoline, like stuff like that will spill on the floor. And so they said, hey, if you put this ProWax Polish, it'll keep it from being slick and keep that from causing any damage. So we got this whole thing perfectly cleaned yesterday, but then I had to bring some of my tools in because it rained last night. So I'm gonna get those put away. We're gonna blow that back out and make sure that we're still clean. I think the only part that needs a touch-up is right over there. And then I'm gonna show you guys really quickly how to address the oil stains. I've pretty much already done all of the oil stain prep. There's one right here that I need to do it to. So I'm gonna show you guys that really quick. And then we're gonna move on to etching, neutralizing the etching, and then washing it, which is step 2, 3, 4, I guess. So I wanna go ahead and test to make sure these oil stains are fully absorbed. We've got all the oil out of it. So I'm gonna take water, spray it on here. And if it absorbs in, this one looks like it's pretty good. It didn't pool the water on it, so it looks good. Okay, see how that's repelling the water? And it's beating up off of that? So this oil stain needs some work. So I will show you how we do it. I've got this absorbent stuff. I'll take a handful of this.
I thought it was glass.
Put that on there.
Oh, is that the oil stain?
Yeah, this is the oil absorber. And now we take acetone and we dump it in there. And as the acetone evaporates, it'll actually pull the oil stain out, which, as you can see, like on that other one, it works, and it works fantastic. And these oil stains have been here for 2 months. All right, we'll let that sit. I'm gonna go and check, make sure the rest of these are good. The way that ColorDirect does their instructions is absolutely fantastic. They've got, so we're gonna start off with the CitrusEtch. So it's got a QR code. All I gotta do is go on and scan the QR code, and it pulls up a PDF that you can either print off or just use on your phone for the how-to to use this. And they also have videos about every step of the process along the way. So I'm gonna go inside. While this stuff is absorbing in here, basically I just gotta wait until it evaporates. Once it evaporates, we'll come in, double check it, clean it up, and then we'll be ready to do our etching. But I'm gonna go watch some videos to make sure I know how to do this right while I'm waiting. So you can see the acetone is completely evaporated, so we're gonna vacuum this up and see if we got the oil pulled out of the concrete. That's better. So I'll go ahead and do it one more time just to pull it out the rest of the way. It's probably twice as good as it was, but it's not quite there yet. So we'll do it one more time and then we should be good to go. As I'm waiting, I'm gonna get these the sprayers ready. There's only really one thing you gotta do with this that they say, which is to remove the filter, which is right on the end here. Unscrew, at least on these containers. These are the ones that they sell on their website. Take this, unscrew here, and this is where your filter is going to be located. Pull that off, now we're good to go. I'm not gonna add the water quite yet, but I'm gonna get these all ready. So this is the CitrusEtch. Follow the instructions for what you're doing, but it's 10 ounces per gallon. And then this is 50 ounces, which will do 5 gallons. And this will be enough to do our entire project. Now you can definitely get away with one sprayer. The fact that I have 3, I'm gonna use all 3, so I don't have to come and mix in between. I can just literally just grab the next coat, go spray it, come grab the next sprayer, go spray it, so that way I don't have to stop the process once I've started. We are ready to officially start this project. I mean, it's already been officially started when I had to clean it all, but we're ready to actually start putting down product, which is kind of nerve-wracking, kind of exciting. We're gonna start off in the back corner and work our way out. With those spike shoes, we can walk on it, doesn't matter. We gotta keep the whole thing wet during the entire process. It needs to sit for about 15 minutes on the concrete, they say, and then you come through with a neutralizer and neutralize it. So basically what an acid wash is it's to etch the concrete, to open up the pores of the concrete so that the stain and stuff will actually absorb into the concrete and give you a good finish. Otherwise, it's not gonna last very long. So we wanna do that so that the stain really seeps into the concrete and sticks. Thankfully, there are some harsh chemicals that you can use to do this. The stuff they have is CitrusEtch, and so it is a very non-toxic etching, so I'm excited to use it. Let's go give it a try. On the edge is where they didn't trowel out the concrete as much, and so it's not as tight of pores. I might just need to dump this stuff out. I've seen them do it that way too, just dump it and spread it out. So that way it is applied quickly. I've got a squeegee. We can squeegee it, because this is absorbing really quick. 1 gallon should do 200 square feet, which is like 2 squares. So let's try this. So the nice thing is each of these sections is about 200 square feet. We have a total of like 1,280 square feet. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I can kind of do it in sections here. All right, we're getting close. I've got this little section here left, and then we'll move on to the next step of neutralizing everything. Oh, nice. I had some chalk line stains from when they chalk lined to this. That etcher got that stain up. That's nice. I'm gonna work it in. All right, I'm gonna go get the neutralizer mixed up. We're gonna bring it in here and spray it. Should be a pretty simple process. Pretty much just spray it and then wash it off. That was quite the project. It took me probably 2.5 hours to do 1,300 square feet by myself. Definitely 2 people would be helpful, or 3 people. Each of you take a section and just go down and do it all at once. But it's supposed to kind of give a slight sandpaper texture, which I definitely feel. So I think we got the etching done properly. Woo! I am glad to be done with it. That was a ton of work. So the next step is getting this concrete to dry completely. Once the concrete is dried completely, then we are ready to do our first coat of sealer. So that is what you will see us do next. We're gonna let this dry. It may be tonight, maybe tomorrow. Obviously, the drier the concrete is, the more that stain is gonna absorb. So I want this to just be as dry as I can get it. I got it squeegeed, which will help a lot. You can still see some of the watermarks that I missed or whatever. The cracks obviously take forever to dry. I'm really happy with how it turned out. That etcher got rid of some of the surface crap that was on here, like the red mark from the chalk line. He got that cleaned up, got a couple of rust spots out of the concrete, so it definitely pulled up some of that stuff. Then we got it pH balanced and then cleaned. So next step is gonna be the stain. Well, the floor is as dry as the Sahara Desert, so we are ready to lay down the stain. Now I scanned the QR code on the side of our ColorWave stainer, which is what we're using right here. And it's pretty simple to apply. Now our concrete was pretty porous before we did the etching. You guys saw it absorbed water pretty quick, but we're gonna do a quick little test here and just spray some water on. I mean, it pretty much instantly absorbs, so we are good to go. I'm going to throw on my spiked shoes. Now, the one thing with this is you wanna make sure your color batch is either the same or you wanna mix your colors together so that there's a uniformity in the color. If you have an area that you do not want painted, you want to be sure to tape it off. Now, I plan to repaint the container, and I haven't even messed with the back wall. That's all gonna get painted. So I'm not too worried about overspray. It'll be easier rather than taping off the container, you know, along here to try and tape all that off, which would be a pain in the butt. It's gonna be easier to, if we get a little bit of overspray, after we seal it, I think we can kind of wash it off, because the floor will be sealed, but the stain that got on the wall wouldn't be. And so I think it may wash off, but if it doesn't wash off, when I come back to paint it, all I have to do is run a tape line down the edge, then it's full, and put plastic down, and then I can repaint the container and cover up the stain. So that's why I don't have mine taped. Definitely, obviously if this is in your house or something like that, you would want yours taped off. By the way, our spot over there is almost dry. So it probably has been about 4 or 5 minutes. So I'm pretty happy with our etching that we did. I have a feeling this is gonna be messy. See if I can keep the mess to a minimum, pouring this into the sprayer. Here we go. That's not too shabby. I would say it's absorbing good. Well, it's darkening up. Now there's another color change when we seal it. It makes the color really pop out. This first gallon is supposed to do 200 square feet. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it should do 2 sections of this concrete, which I've got plenty here to do that. It's absorbing it really quick, so we're gonna put it on heavy. You can see back in the back corner where I put it on heavy, I like the dark color. So we'll use this whole 2 gallons in these 2 squares. So we're basically going over it with the second coat right now. I like it better than the white.
Yeah. That looks really good.
All right, so that's 1 coat on, or that's 2 coats over there. I like that. That's way better.
Yeah. Okay, good luck.
So I don't think I mentioned it yet, but these are, all the products that I'm using are water-based. We're about halfway, or maybe just over a little bit of halfway. I used 2 gallons so far. It soaked it up pretty good, as you guys have seen. And I've already put 2 coats. I basically go do 1 coat, and by the time I'm done, it's dry, and then I come back and do the second coat. The only part that isn't completely dry are a couple of the oil stains. They're taking longer to dry. I maybe could have done a little bit better job getting the oil completely pulled out. I'm not too worried about it. It is a workshop, so we're gonna have more oil spills and things like that. Now, once the floor is sealed and waxed and everything, oil will not be able to penetrate through the floor, so I'll just be able to wipe it up when it gets on the floor, which I am very excited about, but those parts are the part that are taking the longest to dry. It looks fantastic. It definitely elevates this space, and this is just with the stain. We don't even have the color popping yet. I love the way that it looks. Like I said, when the oil stains are on the ground, you really can't tell because it's still got that concrete texture. I don't even know, like flowy colored look, which is what you get with stains. So it really looks phenomenal. I've got to do my second coat. You can see the difference between 2 coats and 1 coat right here. So I'm going to finish off that bottle, get the second coat there, and then I'll just go through and touch up random light spots or whatever with the rest of the stain in there. And then I'm gonna let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow morning we should be able to come out here and seal it, and that's really when we're gonna see a huge change to it. The last 4 or 5 days, pretty much since we started this project, the weather has been absolutely phenomenal. It's been like 60, 55, 65 in the mornings with like a high of 80. And my gosh, I absolutely love it. Growing up in Utah, even in the middle of the summer, the morning would be 50, 60 degrees, and then it would heat up throughout the day. Goosey, you cannot go in there. No, you can't go in there. Sorry, dog. Back. And so in Oklahoma, during the summer, the low is like 80, and the high is like 100 during the summer. And so it's been really nice to have this fall weather, and we have been enjoying every minute of it. But we are back out here. It is Monday morning, and we're gonna get the sealing done today so that we can get this project completely finished probably tomorrow. We've got 2 more steps left. We got sealing, which we're gonna do 2 coats of sealer, and then we're gonna wax the floor, which will help protect it from traffic areas, obviously, but it will also help protect it from oil and gas and all of that kind of stuff. Kind of the harsher chemicals, I guess you could say. Stay goose, stay. Let me give you guys a quick look at what it looks like right now. I am really, really happy with the color and the texture of it. I really like it. The oil spots that we had, you can still kind of see them, and I think that's my fault because I thought I had them pulled out good enough, and I don't think I quite did. So you can see, like, that's an oil spot, and that was an oil spot. But honestly, when you look at the grand layout, the whole floor it's not just like a solid color, it's concrete, right? So you're gonna have variation in color. So I am very happy with the way that it turned out, even with the little oil stains and whatever. It doesn't bother me one bit. One of the things that I love about direct colors is everything is super easy to apply, and you can literally use the sprayer for everything. Now for the sealer, they do have an option where you can go just buy like a paint roller and use a paint roller to do the sealer. We're gonna try it with the sprayer. We'll see how that works. If we like it, we'll just run with that. If not, then we'll go get a roller and we'll try using a roller. But heck, I figure if we can do it with the sprayer, let's try it with the sprayer. We've done everything else up to this point with the sprayer. Now I've got my spiked shoes here. By the way, those are an absolute must-have for this project. It has made the thing so seamless, and it doesn't leave any marks, which is obviously what you want. So we've got our sprayer here. We have got EasySeal in satin. Now I believe they have satin and high gloss. We chose to go with satin, and then we're also gonna wax it, which will give it a shinier look. I think we're gonna come out when it's all said and done with like a semi-gloss kind of look with the combination of stuff that we're using, but we'll see what it comes out to. And so we're gonna go ahead. This stuff you gotta be kind of careful with. So I've got gloves that I'm gonna wear, and I've got very good ventilation in here as well. On the sealer, we wanna do 2 thin coats, and we're gonna have to wait about 8 hours between coats. We'll see how fast it absorbs. You can do like a tackiness test with it. If you put your fingernail into it and it leaves a mark, then you gotta wait for it to cure a little bit longer. If it's completely hardened, then you're good to go and you can do the second coat. I don't know where the foam comes from, but it seems like no matter what, we always, when I come out here, I've got a little bit of foam on the floor. So I'm gonna quickly blow that out of the building and then we'll start sealing. See if I can do this and make it look pretty. This might be the fastest process so far. That actually worked fantastic with the sprayer. I was a little bit worried that it wasn't gonna give me even coverage or whatever, but honestly, I'm stoked with how that looks. I think it's gonna be perfect. We'll obviously do 2 coats with that, but that looks fantastic. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw my AirPods on, bump out to some music, and spray the rest of this thing. It looks so good. And it's actually drying really, really quick, just like everything else in this entire process. So I did chuck a fan in there. I've got the AC fan going, the AC's not on, and then that fan going just to circulate the air, keep the air moving in here. It's looking absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see it finished up. We'll give it a couple of hours here though, and then come back over here and give it a second coat. My gosh, I'm so close to being done, and I cannot wait to put this thing back together. It's gonna look so good. It has been quite a few hours since we put this down, and it is completely dry. I've tried scratching it, tried the fingernail test, and it is ready for the second coat of sealer. I'm really happy with how this came out. Using the sprayer, it's not as smooth of a finish because obviously it's not getting spread out evenly. So for the shop space, I'm completely okay with that because it actually adds just a slight bit of texture to it, is what I'm noticing, which is good because it gives a little bit of traction and stuff. If you wanted this really, really smooth, I would go with the roller, which is probably gonna give you just a little bit smoother finish as far as the finish goes. Now we are gonna be waxing this, and I believe we are rolling the wax on, and that will kind of basically even out everything that we have done, and I think it'll help to level out. Not that it's not level, there's a little bit of texture to it. So for our application, I'm stoked about it, but if you wanted like a perfectly flat, like for a house or something like that, you may want to go with a roller rather than a sprayer. Y'all probably won't notice really any change between what it looks like now and the second coat of sealer, but I'm gonna go ahead and get that put on right now. I'm stoked to be on to the last step of this project. So I went and picked me up a Swiffer. We used to have one of these, and then we got rid of it because Marcy actually changed what she likes using. So I gotta put this thing together here really quick. This is what I'm gonna use to apply the sealer, and I think it should work pretty good. And this is now gonna be my shop mop. I did get some dust kind of tracked in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up really quick before I put down the wax, just to make sure that it's as clean as it can be. So the way that it recommends doing this, there's actually a couple of different ways that you can apply this. One is using a microfiber mop pad, which is what I've got here. And then I think what I'm gonna do is get just a squirt bottle, like a handheld spray bottle, kind of spray it on the ground, smooth it out. Let's say you wanna keep a wet edge, which means don't let it dry out as you work across. Obviously the stuff behind you can dry out, but keep a wet edge as you go. And it should be as simple as that. We'll just start on one side and work our way out. This time I'm not wearing my spike shoes, I'm just wearing socks. And so we will work ourselves out of the shop. ProWax Polish and satin is what we're using. Gonna give this thing a good shake. Here we go. I put it in this little bottle. We'll see if this works. This might not put down enough product. I may end up going trying something else, but I'm gonna kind of get this wax put on here. Honestly, probably spray it on the. Oh, that's great. So that's as simple as it is to add the wax. That's our first layer. We went this direction. When we do our second layer, we'll go the other way. I think I'm gonna try and get 3 or 4 coats in here, especially the high traffic areas around the doorways and stuff like that, just to give that little bit more of an added protection, added layer of protection. But that's as simple as it is. Go one way. When you do the next coat, do the other way. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the rest of this floor. All right, are you guys ready for the grand reveal of this floor? I am excited. These Mars and Maverick haven't actually seen it. So here we go. Go in there, Mavi. Ta-da! What do you guys think of this beautiful floor?
You like it?
It feels so good on my feet. It looks fantastic. So I ended up putting down 4 coats of wax on this floor, and it ended up working out perfectly. It sat for almost 24 hours, which means we're good to use the floor again for light duty stuff like walking on it, and we're probably going to carry the workbench and stuff in here and start putting stuff away, and then we'll give it a couple more days for it to fully cure and harden, and then we're going to start work back in here, and I am ecstatic about it. I love the way that this turned out. Huge shout out to Direct Colors for sponsoring today's video, for sending us this product and walking us through the steps on this. I'm going to leave a link down in the description for you guys to check out if you guys want to do a concrete staining, sealing process yourself. It really was a simple process, and it's something that literally anybody could do. They've got everything you need on their website. You can go on there and they can get you hooked up with everything that you need to turn boring old concrete into something as beautiful as this. Obviously, they've got a ton of different color options and things like that. So go check out their website and find a color that you like and get your project done just like we did. A lot of people, when we first poured our concrete, were like, hey, why didn't you stain it and seal it? Well, this is why. We actually had to wait 30 days for the concrete to cure before you can stain it. We ended up waiting like 2 months, I think. and came in here, cleared everything out, and now have it looking like this. And I am ecstatic about it. So we're gonna get this back wall finished. We're gonna get the rest of the shop painted. So if you guys want to follow us along on our journey building our shipping container shop, go down and hit the subscribe button, because golly, we're getting close to the finish line. And then the projects that are gonna roll out of that door right there are gonna be absolutely fantastic. So thanks for watching, and we will see y'all tomorrow. You know what we need? We need some of those drift cars.
Yeah. Was that fun, Mav? He's like, no, but I'll smile and pretend that it was. You can say no.
Oh, you want to do it again?